yourself in Mephibosheth? Three things and I'm through. You need motivation. Look at Mephibosheth. You need motivation for why you ought to be committed. Yeah, I'm pointing my finger at you. Why you ought to be loyal to the Lord and his church and his man and his things and his mission and his ministry. You want to know? Three things. I'm through. It's right here in the text. First of all, because you are among the fragment of survivors. Wake up and write that down. You're not going to remember it. You ought to be loyal to God and his church and his ministry and his missions. First of all, because you are among the fragment, the few that survive. Here's what I'm saying. What you've been through in your life, there are some others who went through what you went through, and they didn't make it. There are some folk who lived the way you live, but they didn't survive it. There are some people who experience, I know you don't know, think that anybody knows what you went through, but God knows. And there are some things that you went through that others went through the same or similar stuff, and they did not survive. But you are one of the few that survived it. You are among the fragment. That's what he says here to Mephibosheth, that a whole lot of your daddy's people that were loyal to him and your grandfather, but they are gone, but you have survived. I wish I could really get you to understand that you're not here just to be here. You're really only here because God enabled you to survive what you've been through. Now, I'm not talking to you if you have never been through anything. I want to talk to some real folk in here who know you've been through some stuff. Well, I really want to talk to some folk who are going through some stuff right now. Well, if you're one who's been through something and going through something, and you have lived to tell about it, tell your neighbor, I'm a survivor. Now, what does me being a survivor have to do with me being faithful to God? Well, if God is the one who fixed it so you could survive, at least you ought to be loyal to him. I mean, if you can admit that I never would have made it without God, I wouldn't be where I am without God, I wouldn't have what I have without God, my family wouldn't be, my babies wouldn't have made it, all of that, then you ought to be able to be faithful to the God who helped you be part of the fragment of survival. But then not only that, don't rest there, but not only that, not only are you one of the fragment, but you ought to bless God and be loyal to God because you've been favored by the king. Now watch this. Notice that David does not just put Mephibosheth on welfare. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying. It's a long way from Skid Row. Have I got anybody ever been in the city? I mean, the real city. I know y'all think Beaufort City, but I'm talking about the real city, you know what I'm saying? Anybody ever been in what they call the Tenderloin? You don't hang out in the Tenderloin, not day nor night, if you don't know where you're going. And if you go to the Tenderloin, baby, you better walk like you know where you been. Even if you don't walk through there looking like a tourist. You don't walk through there snapping pictures. I mean, the Tenderloin at Skid Row is the place that when you go to certain cities, this is the place where they give you the little map of the city. Like where I grew up in San Francisco, they said this little area right here, the Fillmore, you stay away from that area. Some of y'all need to get away from home a little bit. It's a long way from the Tenderloin and Skid Row to the White House. It's a long way from not even having a bus pass to flying on Air Force One. This is the kind of transition that Mephibosheth made, literally, literally overnight. Why? Because he was favored by the king. Now, I'm almost finished. But now, let's be honest. Now, some of our children, Madison, Maceo, Julian, Jordan, they don't know anything at all about doing without. I know they think they do. But they don't know anything at all about doing out. You know, at least they don't know nothing about doing without. They don't know anything about that. They don't know nothing about only ever having one pair of shoes. Might be only one pair they can wear for the moment, and you just figured that out, and then you're going to fix that in a few days, and they'll go back to having many and multiple pairs. But there's someone here, the grandmamas and the grandpapas, you know when you look at those children that they have far more than you ever had. Now, they grew up in the same city, same locale, same blood in your veins. What's the difference? God has answered through you the prayers of some old righteous folk that were faithful over the little and faithful over the few. And God promised that if you are faithful over little, that I will elevate you, and I will bless you, and not just you, but your kinsmen and your acquaintances. I heard him say, Abraham, if you can be faithful to me, I will bless you, and then I will make you a blessing, and then through you, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. That's the reason why we ought not throw our old folk away, and that's the reason why we ought not put them in nursing homes unless we really have to, because we are blessed through our seeds. And so you running around here trying to act like you've done it all by yourself. The only reason you're where you are, baby, you've been favored by the king. Not Muhammad and not Obama, but I'm talking about King Jesus. That you are where you are. That you are among the fragment of survivors because you've been favored by the king. But I'm through when I tell you, not only was Mephibosheth favored by the king and among the fragment of survivors, but he could shout, and we can be faithful and loyal and committed because our life, tell your neighbor to move, has been fixed forever. You missed it. You know why you missed it? Because you got too much. He literally says to Mephibosheth that you will sit at the king's table for the rest of your life. Verse 7, he says, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually.